Thank you. We will now receive New Year greetings from each minister. First, I'd like to invite Rinban Kawawata. これより各僧侶より新年のご挨拶を申し上げます。はじめに川端林番よろしくお願いいたします。
Hi, good morning and then Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you for attending this Shusho-e service, New Year service. Again, I forgot my glasses, just like last night. So I memorized it. So let's see. I think today we have. Rainy day, however, that we see the new year. Every time that new year comes, I think that is a good chance to restart your life. Sometimes you make like a new year resolution, or you have a hope for the future. Days. However, the New Year is, I think that Japanese tradition, we said, おめでとうございます。おめでとうございます。Right? You know this phrase, right? おめでとうございます。めでる means the sprout, new bud sprout. So actually, that is, that the new beginning of their life, just like, that the new, plant, sprout, then comes out. Then spring, they have flower, and then fall, they have seeds, and then go back to their, the ground. And then again, New Year comes, it's sprout. So this is the beginning of their new year, and then the beginning of their, new life. This year, last year, this Betsuin has a big change because of the, former Rinban Ito retired. I really, express my respect and then gratitude to the Rinban Ito for his 50 years of, the work for this North American district, and then also the this Betsuin. So I am the new. I got the new position. I take his, the position. I don't know how much I could do it, but then I try to do with all your support. So this year too, please continue to give us your support and then make this temple more wonderful place to listen to the Buddha's teaching. Thank you very much for your coming. 今年もよろしくお願いします。Thank you for your support. ありがとう。Thank you.
Rinban, ありがとうございました。Thank you, Rinban. At this time, I'd like to share my message. Happy New Year, everybody. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude for your unwavering support throughout the past year. 2025 was a truly meaningful and memorable year for our temple community. Needless to say, the highlight of the past year was the Rinban succession service held in September. For the Betsuin, this was a significant milestone as we welcomed our sixth Rinban, Reverend Kenjun Kawawata. However, even though the position of Rinban has changed on this occasion, I think the foundation and teachings established by Reverend Ito and other former Rinbans continue to live on. The year also brought challenges. We began with wildfire here in Los Angeles, and we continue to see families around the world affected by conflict and difficult political situations. In times like this, I sincerely hope the Buddha Dharma reaches more people and offers them spiritual comfort. I feel very grateful to be a part of this Sangha and to be able to continue to listen and share, listening to and sharing the Dharma with all of you. This summer, the 14th World Global Gathering will be held in Brazil, and I hope many of you will be able to join and share in the joy of receiving the teachings together. I wish you all a happy and healthy year ahead. Thank you. 明けましておめでとうございます。9年中はご門徒の皆様より多大なるご支援を賜り、心より御礼申し上げます。言うまでもなく、昨年度のハイライトは9月に執り行われた輪番交代式であり、別院にとっては非常に大きな節目となりました。ロサンゼルス別院の6代目輪番として、川端健純氏をお迎えすることができました。しかし、今回、輪番が交代されたとはいえ、前輪番の伊藤氏や歴代の輪番によって築かれた基盤や教えは、今なお受け継がれていると感じます。一方で、昨年は史上最悪ともいえる山火事がロサンゼルスを覆い、多くの方々が困難な状況に置かれました。また、世界では紛争や政治状況によって多くの家族が引き裂かれる現実も目にいたしました。このような時こそ、仏法がより多くの方々に届き、心の拠り所となることを深く願っております。このサンガの一員として、皆様と共に聞法し、教えを分かち合えることに深く感謝いたします。今年の夏には、第14回世界同胞大会がブラジルにて開催されます。多くの皆様にご参加いただき、共に仏法を喜ぶひとときを分かち合えることを願っております。皆様にとって2026年が健やかで素晴らしい一年となりますよう、心よりお祈り申し上げます。本年もどうぞよろしくお願い申し上げます。Thank you. We will now invite Reverend Ito to share his message. 続きまして、伊藤先生よりご挨拶をいただきます。
Well, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. So wonderful to see so many of you here for our New Year's Day service. And, I always feel like New Year's Day is really, kind of like, especially I think for Japanese, it's a really important and very festive and, joyous holiday. And it really is, like the beginning of a new year. Of course, that doesn't need to be said, but to really, welcome into a new year. And then, like I'm like going to be 78 this year, and I'm just kind of happy to be still relatively healthy. And be able to enjoy life with, my family, and then, to be continue to be able to serve as a minister at this temple, and to come every Sunday and to see all of you here, at Sunday services and so forth. It's just really wonderful for not only for me and my family, but for all of us who have been members of Higashi Honganji for many years, and also those who joined our temple recently. And Higashi Honganji, as you know, goes back to the year 1904. And last, 2024 would have been the 120th anniversary of the establishment of Higashi Honganji. And 1904 was when Reverend Junjo Izumida, the first minister that came to the United States and established the Higashi Honganji here in Los Angeles, or in California. So we have that really long history. And, of course, when we go back to the history in Japan, it goes back 800 years, much more, longer than the history here in the United States. But still, when I think back about Reverend Junjo Izumida, Reverend Izuhara, and then my father, Horyu Ito, Reverend Gyoko Saito, and so many of the ministers that served at our temple, and then to realize that we have the opportunity to be able to continue to listen to and to receive the Buddhist teachings, the teachings of Shinran Shonin and so forth, on a regular basis. And we now have a new Rinban, and Reverend Kawawata will do a great job to continue to make sure that the temple remains as a vibrant facility where we can all gather together and continue to be inspired by the teachings of Buddhism, the teachings of Shinran Shonin, and then to think about, the teachers that we've had in the past, Reverend Horyu Ito, Reverend Gyoko Saito, all of those ministers who have enriched our lives by sharing, the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha and Shinran Shonin, and then all of the teachers that have come after them. And so that this temple is just, really so important for us, not only for us, but, those people who, come to Little Tokyo, and then, we get visitors on a regular basis. And then, they come and they look at the temple and they say, well, you have such a beautiful, sanctuary, and, and some people join the temple too because of, what they realize is the basis for the teachings that we have here. And, and we're just really grateful that all of you come on Sundays and, other times, and then at our Obon festivals and things like that. And we want to keep this temple vibrant, and to be able to serve not only our members, but the community and so forth. And to be able to gather on New Year's Day and to kind of welcome the new year, and by coming to the temple is also, just a wonderful thing. And so thank you for all of you to coming today, and hope to see you regularly on Sundays. And and you can come anytime, any day of the week, and come and see us, and come to the temple. So we look forward to a wonderful 2026, and hope that you all have a wonderful New Year and a wonderful year that we have welcomed in. Just really grateful that all of you are here today to share our New Year's Day service this morning. So thank you so much, and best wishes for a wonderful 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Nito. I'd now like to invite Reverend Peter Hata to share his message.
No, it does. No, it does. Well, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year to all of you, as we're all saying. It's really nice to see all of you today for this very auspicious service. You know, for me personally, 2025 was a year of many things, I would say, not going the way I would have liked them to. By the way, to Rinban, Kawawata, and Rinban Nito, it doesn't have anything to do with the Rinban succession service. It's, in my personal life, we had a lot of difficulties. And of course, this is true really of every year for all of us, right? There's always, good things that happen, and there's some not so good things. And then, even though as a Buddhist, I do know that we're not supposed to really categorize things as good or bad. I mean, because that's kind of thinking dualistically, right? But despite of my understanding of Buddhist teachings, can I say that I'm still really glad that 2025 is gone? But there was one recent event that actually turned out to be one of those good things, and one which I think I did very much appreciate. I'd like to share a little bit about with you. So I recently went to another Betsuin temple, the Seattle Betsuin, which is the Seattle head temple for Nishi Honganji in Seattle. I was invited to give a seminar and a talk there, and I was, since it's a long way and it was a kind of a major service for them, I was very nervous about how it would go. But it turned out that everyone there was, very, very welcoming, and maybe most importantly, they all seemed to be very enthusiastic about listening to the Dharma, and so that made the whole weekend very enjoyable. It's always enjoyable to not only, listen to the teaching, but then of course to be able to share it with others. Very, very enjoyable experience. But what really impressed me was how they were all trying to deal with the devastating fire that they'd experienced in early 2024. So I think if I think even here in Los Angeles, it was covered in the news, in Los Angeles news, in 2024, January, I believe it was, they had a really devastating fire in the compound there at Seattle Betsuin Temple. It wasn't an act of arson or anything. I think it was an accident. It was maybe a homeless person that accidentally set a fire, but really devastating damage. And they actually had invited me in 2024 and then postponed my invitation to 2025 because of the damage. But clearly, when I got there, I noticed that they'd all come together to help complete the renovation of the temple. And unfortunately, because of the extent of the damage, it's behind schedule. I think the Rinban there, Reverend Kusunoki, told me that it took them 6 months just to get rid of the asbestos in the temple before they could even start with other, repairs. And now they're under pressure to get the renovation done because my understanding is they're having a 125th anniversary this year, and they're hosting a national convention of the Buddhist Churches of America next month. It's going to be at a hotel, but obviously they would like to have had people come to the temple in Oshoko and the Hondo, but I don't think that's going to happen because I looked in the Hondo and all the altar decorations are still in crates, so I don't think it's going to happen. But there's kind of an interesting story that shows just how dedicated their Sangha is. So I'd like to share this with you. So after I said my goodbyes to Reverend Kusunoki, then I found myself with a couple of hours to kill at the airport.
And, I was just sitting there waiting for my, my flight. And I happened to look down and I noticed, in my backpack, there was the ore envelope. I couldn't resist opening it. And, it was a very generous ore. Ore means what do you call it? The gratitude given to the minister for their talk. I was surprised that there was no second check for the reimbursing me for my airfare. And so, I waited and waited for it to arrive via the mail. It was a generous ore, but in my mind, I was thinking, well, if I have to subtract the airfare from it, it's not that generous. But anyway, that was my kind of bombu mind thinking that way. I waited and waited, and finally, I sent an email to the temple because I, was curious, and I found out that the treasurer had indeed forgotten it. But it was because that whole weekend he'd been involved in working in a crew to restore other parts of the temple, so he was unable to attend my talks. So actually, rather than he or the temple being embarrassed, I think it was really kind of me that was embarrassed for, inquiring about the reimbursement. And the treasurer just turned out to be, another very dedicated Sangha member. And so then, 1 week after coming back from Seattle, I kind of returned here to the Los Angeles Betsuin because I was invited to give the December Shoshinge talk. And I just wanted to say that what I noticed was that here at this Betsuin too, there's the same kind of very strong Sangha spirit. Everyone really comes together and works very hard to keep the temple going. And so, I just like to say that as we begin a new year, I want to express my thanks to all of you for all that you contribute to the temple, to keep the temple going. And I hope that we can continue listening to the Buddha Dharma together as we go through 2026. So thank you all very much. No,
Thank you, Reverend Hata. I'd now like to invite Reverend Hasegawa to share his message.
Happy New Year, everyone. And thank you very much for coming on this auspicious day. So I'd like to express my deepest gratitude for the wholehearted support you have extended to our temples and our district throughout the past year. So there are still mounting problems such as the armed conflicts and natural disasters and uncertain economic situations, which are influencing our lives in many ways. Those difficulties have made us reflect on what is the most important thing in our lives and think about what the innermost wish deep within our existence is. That is the focus of the essence of the Buddhist teachings, which Shinran Shonin called Jodo Shinshu, with deep respect. So let's continue to walk the broad path of awakening, guided by the everlasting truth in the teaching as well as by our innermost wish. Thank you very much. 明けましておめでとうございます。9年中は別院並びに開教寺院、そして開教区に変わらぬご支援を賜りまして、心より御礼申し上げます。世界中どこを見回しても、紛争や自然災害、そして先の見えない経済の状況など、困難な問題が山積し、私たちの生活に 様々な面で影響を及ぼしております。しかし、そうした問題によって、私たちの人生において最も大切なものは何か、改めて深く考えさせられることであります。それはまた、私たちの命の奥底の願いを思い起こすということでもあります。今年もまた、親鸞上人が浄土真宗と呼び、大切にされた仏教の根本に帰り、そして教えや私たちの心の中の願いに導かれながら、この大きな道を共に歩んで目覚め続けてまいりたいと思います。本年もどうぞよろしくお願い申し上げます。ありがとうございます。
Thank you, Reverend Hasegawa. Lastly, I'd like to invite Reverend Goto to share his message.
Good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year's. First of all, I would like to express my sincere appreciation for all your support throughout the past years. This year, the 2026 marks my 5th years since being assigned to the Los Angeles, and it will also be the final years of my term. So I'm sincerely grateful for the guidance you have gave me and for always treating me with such warmth. When I was first arrived at the Los Angeles, it was during the COVID-19 pandemic, and I often found myself struggling to adapt to the unfamiliar environment. However, the experience I have gained here have been tremendously valuable to me. As I enter this final year, I will do my utmost to ensure that I leave no unfinished business and continue to improve myself. I would greatly appreciate your continued guidance and supporting in the year ahead. Thank you so much. 皆様、明けましておめでとうございます。昨年は、大変お世話になり誠にありがとうございました。早いもので私がロサンゼルスに赴任してから、今年で5年目を迎え、本年が私の任期の最後の年となります。これまで皆様から多くのご指導を賜り、また常に温かく接していただきましたことを心より大変感謝申し上げます。赴任当初は、コロナ禍であったこともあり、不慣れな環境に戸惑うこともございましたが、ここでの経験は私にとって非常に貴重なものとなりました。最終年度となる本年は、悔いの残らぬよう、一層精進してまいります。本年も変わらぬご指導ご鞭撻のほどどうぞよろしくお願い申し上げます。
Thank you, Reverend Goto. At this time, I'd like to share some of the announcements we have. This coming up Sunday, January 4th, we have January Shotsuki service at 10 a.m. And save the date. January 25th, we have our annual Eitaikyo service, as well as New Year's luncheon and annual general meeting. The details will be mailed out soon. いくつかアナウンスメントがあるので共有させていただきます。今週の日曜日、1月4日は、1月の小月法要があります。そして、今月の最後の日曜日です。1月25日は、永代教法要並びに、毎年恒例の総会、新年会を開催いたします。詳細は、今週中に、郵送にて送られますので、少々お待ちくださいませ。Is there any other announcements? Okay. Please rise for the Gatha Ondokusan 1 on page 112. 音読さん1を斉唱いたします。サービスブックの112ページをご覧ください。You may be seated. This concludes the Shusho-e New Year service. Thank you for being here with us this morning. Following the service, ozoni will be served downstairs. So if you have time, please join us eating ozoni with us as well. Thank you.